supposed to be the Hollow World.
You are correct. It does actually have a hollow element to it. Although that fact is not actually known. Just FYI.
Yeah.
My experience was that it puts the high in high fantasy.
I'm actually looking at the expert rules for fighter, and I just realized where they have lance combat and spirit combat. But yeah, I don't see anything for extra attacks. This is old.
Oh yeah, it is almost the oldest of the old school.
Yes, extra attacks weren't a thing till the proper first advanced Dungeons and Dragons edition. I'll tell you right now, if that's the case, then fighters would be good at low levels, but you probably want to be, by that point, you're better off being literally anything else.
Well, keep in mind, too, at 3rd level, every class is still attacking the exact same way, too, so...
Wow.
Fighters have better saves, more hit points, and that's about it. Why would you want to be one, then? I think you use any weapon, that's about it. But remember now, like the base rules, every time you hit, you did a d6 of damage. So, starts out with a dagger, does much damage, just slashing with a two-handed sword.
So the fighter's main advantage and why people would want to be a fighter is that they get access to the best weapons and armor in the game, like hands. Also, they were really big. They based this just like original D&D. It was all based off of conceits borrowed from tabletop war games. And so, like, their whole idea was that the fighter was sort of the game for a very long time until they started adding other classes in, and fighters can become lords and get their own castle and like have retinues and eventually armies, and yeah, it's kind of like fighters and dragons and some other people. At least as far as like if you look at all the stuff that fighters can do, because like fighters get a stronghold and then a castle. Clerics can make themselves like a church. Magic users can make a tower. Thieves can make a thieves guild, and then like elves, dwarves, and halflings have like kind of weird racial things, but mainly kind of only if they settle down and stop adventuring.
They have to retire.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah.
Man, probably because Lord of the Rings, man. No hobbits, or rather halflings, pretty much reach their peak at 8th level, and they have to settle down. They don't get enough else from adventuring.
Well, the funny thing about hobbits is that the edition just prior to this one, they had halflings in it that they were referred to occasionally as hobbits, like they hopped back and forth between the terms. And then the estate of J.R.R. Tolkien sued TSR, and so in the next edition, hobbits were gone.
Yep.
Alrighty then. So, just a real quick brief overview, kind of. The map that I threw up there on the screen is the Grand Duchy of Karamikos. It is a human land that is kind of analogous to like the Central and Eastern European countries, like Wallachia, Romania, that sort of thing. Very superstitious people. It's dark, it's rainy a lot. That sort of thing. What is Cesare doing on the map? How did you get on the map, Cesare?
I didn't put myself there.
Must be my fault. Okay. The three of you being demi-humans in the Grand Duchy of Karamikos. There are elven settlements all throughout. The one that you see on the map that's clearly marked out as an elven area, the Vialia elves, are actually like you can't be those guys. They're sort of bad guys. But there are settlements spread all over, and in as far as dwarves go, the main dwarven settlement is not actually shown on this map. That's funny. There's an area of dwarf settlements in the mountains north of the town called Threshold, and the dwarves call it Rockholm because that's real original. And the only other thing that you really need to know, just is to get easy exposition out of the way, is that the native humans to the area are called Traladarans. They've been in the area for a very long time. They're pretty much they're just above subsistence farmers. Like they have like metalworking and that sort of stuff, but they're that sort of that primitive Eastern European village idea of people. And then in the last 20 years or so, the land has been sort of conquered, like very like not quite bloodily conquered, more like, hey, we're going to come and conquer you guys, but you get the benefit of our civilization because by a power that's basically analogous to the real world's Rome, that called Thyatia, and they're basically everything you would picture from like a movie representation of a Roman. So that's what's going on there.
So they're conquered by an entire legion of men wearing skirts. Got it.
Well, actually, there's no togas or weird skirts in this, because even though they use Rome as sort of their inspiration and sort of theming for that nation, they've always drawn the people wearing just bog standard D&D like middle European like British medieval style armor, that sort of thing.
Mm.
So I didn't say this was a great setting. I'm just but that's what you needed to know. So let me drop over here to my other webpage. All right. So in keeping with the grand tradition of basic D&D, when you started in the basic set or the red box, they didn't really have a whole lot about towns or anything like that. It was just like, here's the dungeon, okay, run through the dungeon. And then like when it was time to run through the next dungeon, you sort of kind of glanced over the idea of going back to town, replenishing, buying new armor, that sort of thing, and then like boom, there's the dungeon, go to the dungeon, until you got to the expert rules, which actually did like overland travel and that sort of thing. So in that tradition, I have prepared just a tiny bit of exposition where the three of you who mysteriously know each other from the past, you were in the bar one night, tipping back a pint and telling stories and listening to stories. And a traitor was brought into town. He had a narrow escape from goblins, whom he says raiders came and knocked over his caravan on the way into town. And they're not too far off. We're in the town of Kelvin, by the way, if you're looking on the map. He said that a pretty large force of goblins hit his caravan, and he had hired some mercenaries to protect the caravan, but the goblins took most of them out. And as far as he knew, he was the only survivor. The goblin band itself is holed up in a local tomb that was sort of lost. And when this guy started describing it, the town elders were like, That sounds like the bear, the tomb of the Company of the Bear. They were a group of heroes a couple of hundred years ago. Very famous. They did a lot of heroic exploits, and sadly ended up sacrificing themselves to save the area from the predations of a vampire.
Oh my.
Was that a soundboard, or did you make that voice?
Of course, I'm an elf. I made that voice.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, Josh's rule for elves. Pre-pubescent teenage boys.
But of course, we're only about 5 feet tall at the most.
Nice. Okay, so that being said, the town elders share some information with you about the tombs and such, and cajole you, who you three who are known adventurers anyway, to please see if you could get to this tomb and take out the goblins. And I'm presuming for the purposes of expedient adventure that no one is going to quibble. Nope. Okay.
Yay.
So you travel through the forest for a day or so on the trader's directions, because he doesn't want anything to do with it and is not going back to the place. And you arrive outside of the Barrow of the Bear, as it is known. And so, if I'm understanding Roll20 right, did y'all just get a pop up with?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
All right, so, and that's not my artwork. I stole that from the web. But that is the Barrow entrance, as it says in the gray box text. Outside, the once fine carvings have worn some from the elements, and the ceiling stone lies shattered on the ground. Just inside the entryway, vision is blocked by large animal furs hung across the opening. And with that, I will switch us maps. Yay, it kept my drawing. Alright, 1 second. Why it tries to default you at 3 units on the map, I have no... And then the dwarf, it defaulted to 2 units. That's weird. And then the other elf is defaulted to 1 unit. I don't understand what's going on in this game.
Sorry, someone asked me to go grab a can of soup. Did I miss anything? I was only gone for about 30 seconds, by the way.
No, because I was busy commenting and griping about the fact that every time I dropped one of your tokens onto the map, it resized it.
Ah.
Okay, you all hopefully see your tokens, and you should be able to individually control.
I can't actually see my token because I'm on a different map.
Yeah, I'm still on the overworld map.
I'm
You gotta,
actually
like,
looking at the Grand Duchy of Karamakos.
Up there, up.
There we are.
Now we're somewhere.
I apologize. I'm still learning how to do this. This is my first time game mastering on Roll20, so this is going to be a shit show, and I apologize.
I understand. Like, it took me a while to get around all this stuff, and I still forget things sometimes. Also, I cannot in fact control my token.
Interesting.
I fear the tokens may be upon the map layer.
You are probably correct. No, they're on the objects and tokens layer.
Ah.
Did you give us permission to move them?
I theoretically did. I tried earlier.
On
Oh,
the... actual character sheets if we have permissions to view and to edit.
Oh, damn it. All right, I see what I did. I was on the wrong screen. I was on the art library screen instead of the compendium. So like, or the library screen, whatever. So I actually just drug the graphics of the tokens on. Because I am amazing like that. All right, now see if y'all can move them.
That is a negative for me.
Nay.
What the freaking hell? All right, I'm pulling up Grell and I am editing things here. Let me see if what can be edited and controlled by, and I have myself and Jay Rook for Grell the Gull. Gargamon, am I missing something?
Did you actually attach the token to the character sheet?
Yeah. I earlier I pulled the token in and I selected it, and then I did the default token thing on the character sheet on the.
So go ahead and double click the token, and there should be an option that's like kind of like a drop down that says represents character. And if you type in the name of the character, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now if you
Well, that's weird.
yeah.
Do I have to do that every time I drop a token down, or does it remember it after a?
When you change a token, you have to resave it to the character sheet. Anytime you make any kind of change to a token, you have to resave it to the character sheet.
That is so weird. All right, Grell the Gullible, try and move your token, por favor.
And we're in business.
Yay! Let me propagate that to the others.
And then you're probably gonna want to, are you gonna use any kind of parameters for these tokens, like the red, blue, and green bubbles? Are they gonna represent anything?
I have always used red or green for health, and I don't know what blue or red would work as in this. Do you have suggestions?
I usually use red for armor class and blue for movement rate.
Okay.
And then once you set those parameters on the token, and if you want to give the token sight or give it a light radius or an aura or anything like that, once you're completely done changing the token, then you have to go into the character sheet, delete the token that's saved to the character sheet, and then resave the changes that you made on this new token onto the character sheet, and then the character sheet will remember all the changes you made. So anytime you drop the token onto the board, it will be that way.
Say that last bit one more time, if you would, please. I'm sorry.
Okay, so anytime you make changes to a token, you basically have to save it to the character sheet again. So you want to get all the adjustments to the token done first, and then save it to the character sheet. So if you want to add health and
Right.
stuff like
I
that.
see. Here we go. Just AC. So there's AC Magic, AC Shield, AC Armor, and AC Adjusted. What's any advice there?
I'm not too familiar with Beckme rules. I'm not sure what all those other ACs are. But usually just regular AC just means, you're straightforward, non-surprised, shield ready, full frontal attack AC, right?
Right.
That's usually the
Seth,
one
what?
that's most important.
Gotcha. Seth, what's your AC?
3.
Okay. Well, then I picked the right one then, because that's what's showing for me. So then you're saying now that I've made changes to the bars on his token, now I've got to bring up his character sheet and re-add that as the default token for his.
Yes. But you usually want to make all of the changes that you know of first, and then save it to the character sheet. So if you want to give him, vision or dynamic lighting or anything like that, then you'd want to do that first before saving it.
Okay. Since I have not set up any dynamic lighting, I will just handle vision and shit manually.
Yeah.
The place I've designed is actually not all that big anyway, so it's.
Yeah.
Glorval the Handsome, would you please try and move your token?
I am not seeing my token. Oh, wait, there I am. Off to the side here. There we go.
Yay! All right, let me do the others real quick. I apologize, guys. I am usually way more prepared of a.
That's okay. This is actually one of the more complicated things on Roll20, actually getting a token to work.
And you would think that would be the easy bit.
Yeah, it's not. It really is difficult. It's pretty easy to mess them up and accidentally save a token that's attached to one sheet, and you can actually save it to a different sheet accidentally if you have the wrong token selected. So
That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's not very intuitive. You'd think you could just drag or open up the character sheet and then just drag the token onto it and it would save it, but no. You actually have to go in, delete the old version of the token, save the new version of the token, and then actually click the Save Changes button on the character sheet to end, edit mode or whatever.
Right. All right. That's Rook's done. Or James, did I hear right? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yep,
James.
that's my name. Don't wear it out.
There we go. I can select it.
Yeah, I just changed yours. I'm working on yours as we speak.
Yeah. And a really useful thing, or a really quick way to open up a character sheet directly from a token, is if you hold shift and double click on a token, it will open up the character sheet that token is associated with.
No shit.
Yeah.
I was always looking for something like that.
Yep. So you don't have to go into the journal tab. What's the AC?
Argamond is your character's AC not?
I haven't put in an AC. What's the AC for scale mail?
There's just leather, chain, and plate.
Oh, okay, probably chain then.
Yeah. Actually, I can't remember, but I think on that sheet, if you put the armor in there and indicate that that's what you're wearing, it automatically does the AC for you. I could be wrong on.
It does.
Oh.
But it has the super expanded list for the advanced.
Well, yeah, that's so. The sheet, as I am told, was the person who showed me how to use it says that this was originally built for 5e, and then they like scaled it down and stripped a bunch of shit out to make it work for basic. So
Oh, cool.
some of the stuff doesn't actually work the way basic does, but we're just gonna go.
The
Which
chain is 5.
Chainmail, yeah, chainmail is has an AC of 5, by the way.
which tab has armor?
Go to inventory.
Oh, inventory.
No, in this case, go to
Sorry.
combat.
Yeah,
Okay.
combat. Yeah.
The bottom right
Oh,
has
cool.
an equipped armor.
It comes down, it says like full sets or piecemeal, but honestly, go full set.
Yeah.
Piecemeal armor is just weird.
Okay.
There's like a variant rule of it in 5th edition,
Chain.
but when I try to make use of it, I got yelled at by another player. I yelled back and that game fell apart.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I have armor class 5 now.
Why would another player give a shit about what armor you were wearing?
Teamwork.
Right? Exactly. All right. So
And more like he was playing a character with no AC, and probably got mad. Because again, a lot of players are like, "Hey, if you're even slightly better off than I am," they get angry.
that's just dumb.
Yeah.
And I got people who would get scared of rolling for your stats.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm around a really powerful player character as another player character, I feel a little safer.
Well, depending upon the character of the person playing that character. Like, for one thing, can you, for instance, hide behind, I don't know, somebody who's really, if it's like a nice player, then yep, totally. But if you're with the guy's an abusive jerk, then you're better off finding a new game.
Yeah.
Okay, got one more quick question for you, and then we'll get moving on this. And I apologize again for all the
You're good.
time.
Everybody has to learn. Everybody.
I have the token that I want to use for a given monster uploaded in my art library.
Yeah.
To use that as a monster, I just drop that on there and then like double click it and I can mess with its stats that way, or do I need to actually go and create a character like as an NPC or whatever?
It depends on what you want to do with it. So if you want it to actually have like attacks and stuff like that, then yes, you'll need a character sheet and all that. I usually make my monsters with the character version of the character sheet rather than the monster one, because the monster one, at least for the version of the character sheet that I use, doesn't actually have attributes set up for the monster fields on the monster version of the character sheet. So I use the character version, and that way, I can give each monster actual attributes that'll be able to be used in macros and stuff like that, and by the character sheet itself, for that matter. I think
Okay.
Basically, if you want to make attacks with a monster, you're going to need the character version of a character sheet.
Gotcha.
And
All
then-
right.
And then if it's a unique monster, then you can set it up just like it's a player character, where you actually attach hit the hit points of the token to the hit points on the character sheet. If it's a mook monster like a goblin or something like that, where you're going to have multiples of them, don't actually attach the fields to the character sheet. Just manually enter like their hit points and stuff like that, and then save the token that way. Because if you do it the other way, every time one of the monsters gets injured, they all get injured. Because they're all
Jesus
attached.
Jones.
Because they're all attached to the same character sheet and the same parameters.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, make sure that I get this. So let's say I have a goblin. Let's just assume that for a minute.
Right.
Whether it's true or not, and you'll find out in a moment anyway. So I make one NPC character sheet for goblin. and then I drop 20 tokens on because goblins come in bunch loads, but I don't attach that token to the character sheet. I just double click on the individual token and set the values of the health and shit by myself, right?
No, you don't. You don't drop a bunch on the board until you have set up the token completely. Then you drop a bunch on the board.
So what's the I may be not following. What's the bit that I don't do so that you don't kill all 20 goblins in one?
You don't give it parameters for the red, blue, and green bubbles. You just manually enter whatever the numbers are. So, for instance, if the
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
like you don't
So
go to the drop
instead
down
of selecting
AC.
HP, yeah.
You don't do that part. You just manually put in, maximum 5 hit points, current 5 hit points, movement rate 6 or whatever, and armor class, 5 or whatever it is. You just put a 5 in the red, and then you save changes to the token, and then you open up the character sheet and save the token to the character sheet, and then every time you drag and drop from the character sheet onto the board, they will all have those same stats, and they will operate individually from each other. Independently.
Really?
Yeah, independently.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And once you put attacks on the character sheet, they'll all be able to use the attacks on the character sheet. And initiative and all that stuff.
Jesus Jones.
Yeah.
Alright, I just want to play some D&D, man. Why do they gotta make it this hard?
Yeah, you have to be able to set everything up beforehand. It's just like making, setting up encounters in a face-to-face game. You have to prep. But the cool thing about setting up monsters on Roll20 is once you get the hang of it, you only have to do it once for each monster, and then that monster is done, and every time you encounter that monster, you just drag and drop. That's it. And you never have to fuck with the token again. You have it all set up, and it's ready to go, and it's permanent. So, and you don't have to paint minis and do all that stupid shit like you do in a face-to-face game.
I actually enjoy painting miniatures, although I typically will cheese out and paint the characters' miniatures and then use tokens or pictures for the monster.
I like painting them too. It's just the cost and the amount of time that it takes.
I can see that.
Yeah. Because if you want to have 50 goblins, I like pewter minis, and a pewter goblin is going to be $5 to $7 probably. And then 50 of those, that's a couple $100 right there. So, but the token, you can just drag and drop one onto the board, select it, hit Control C to copy, like Windows copy, and then click wherever you want to put a copy and Control V, and then you can select groups of them to copy, and then paste groups of them, so you can multiply.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you can set up encounters way faster on Roll20 than you can on a tabletop. Super fast.
Alright, so because I need to do a little bit of extra work that I didn't think I'd have to do, stupid thing. Rook, tell us, actually, Seth, you haven't talked in a while. Tell us a grand tale of either heroic or comedic adventuring from your gaming.
I'm sorry, you cut off for me right there at the end.
Heroic or comedic gaming tale from your gaming history.
Let's see.
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
I'm trying to think of a good one. Most of them are going to lean more towards comedic. In the last campaign I was in that was 2E before the Planescape one, we had one of the players who, like, in real life, Destiny had decided to make them their bitch. Um, so anything bad that was going to happen to him, regardless of what he tried to do, regardless of what any of us tried to do. And he was the nicest guy at the table too. Like, he was the guy who did not deserve it under any circumstances. But like, we'd walk into a room, the shaman would hold person him, and he'd be stuck there getting the crap kicked out of him by trolls while the rest of us tried to fight him off. We defeated a dragon. We found its like lair. We were about to extract his treasure. He blows his climb walls roll, which was like 95, falls in, and then through secret cubbyholes, gremlins burst out and just beat the crap out of him while we're all still wondering what in the world just happened.
Nice.
We're walking down a dungeon and Black Pudding just falls on him, and me and the Paladin just start beating him with sticks because that's all that we could do, because it took half damage and he took half damage, and we didn't have anything else that could affect the thing. We knocked him and the pudding unconscious at the same time.
That's awesome.
At that point, I quit being an adventurer.
But he took literally everything in stride. Like a gang with trained dire weasels as minions, like, latched onto him. he had an 18 strength and he failed every single roll to dislodge the thing.
So it makes it sound like the DM's bullying the poor man.
That's the best part. Most of this stuff was random. Like, it was, he rolled a die on who the pudding dropped off. He rolled a die on who the hold person was going to be. It's just, if he was involved, it was going to be the worst thing. The DM felt terrible, like legitimately terrible, because he thought he was abusing him. But the player didn't care. Like, they're just like, okay.
He was cursed.
Nice.
Yeah. He was just in real life cursed.
Doomed.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The trooper.
Yep.
I have a story about my first cleric.
Do it.
So my friends and I had been playing D&D for a few years at this point, probably about 5 or 6 years. And we decided to start a new campaign after, a hiatus of a couple of months. And we wanted to switch to good characters because we had just been in a campaign with evil characters, and we kind of got burned out on doing evil stuff. So my friend created a chaotic good, or was it? I think it was a lawful good Minotaur fighter. That he wasn't a cursed Minotaur. He was like the born and bred kind. Like, his father was a Minotaur and his mom was a human who, was captured by the Minotaur, and the Minotaur, took advantage of her, and she died during childbirth, and he was born, and his dad was a typical chaotic evil, Minotaur that abused all the Minotaur sons, and he eventually escaped the maze or whatever, and met my character, and we started adventuring together. So I was playing a lawful good human cleric, and I made a lawful good human cleric because I had never really played a lawful good character before. And I thought being a cleric would be a good time to start, having lawful good characters. So he and I adventured into the wilds from where we were normally from or whatever, and we found a village that was beset by giant bees or something like that, and their children were getting stung by these bees and poisoned and stuff like that, and a couple of their smaller livestock were being carried off every day, and one of their elders was killed and they found out where the beehive was, and we decided to help out these people and go just kill all the bees, like we were um, exterminators or something. So we had a couple adventures like that where we were going in and basically helping the villagers do certain things. And after a couple of adventures, we got a couple more players tacked onto the group. And I was basically the only support character. The other characters were either warriors like that Minotaur, or wizards who could pump out a lot of damage. And my friend who was playing the Minotaur, he kind of started to get angry with me once everyone's armor class got to the point where they weren't getting hit very often, because I was still, memorizing healing spells and stuff like that, and I wasn't doing, basically by his standards, enough damage to be worth it to the party. So, like, I was a low speed, high drag type of character or something. And
That's lame.
yeah. And so because of that, I started memorizing fewer healing spells because people just weren't getting hurt as often. And I think we were about level 7 by this point. And everyone's character had a couple 100,000 experience points getting up to level 7. This was AD&D 2nd edition, by the way. And we had invested probably a whole summer up to this point of playing once a week, and maybe partway into the fall. And we all liked our characters. We thought our characters were cool. And we got to a certain dungeon where I can't remember, it might have been like a wyvern or something. There was some kind of like something with a breath weapon, or maybe something that could cast a fireball, like maybe an enemy wizard or something. We had to make saving throws to take half damage from some kind of fire attack. And previously I had cast the prayer spell on everyone, and so everyone had a +1 to their saving throws because of the prayer spell. And the DM was like, okay, they cast a fireball spell, everyone make a saving throw versus spell, or take like 30 damage or something like that, and then if you save, you only take 15. And one of our newer players who had joined us after our first couple adventures, he was one of those characters that didn't have very good like health. So his maximum health was like 16 or something like that. And nobody was wounded at the time, but 30 damage for him would take him beyond -10 and just kill him.
Jeez.
And so he was really nervous when he rolled his saving throw, because this was his life or death roll, basically. And his target number was like 16 or higher, but because of the prayer spell, that gave him a +1, so he only had to roll 15 or higher. And it turns out when he rolled that d20 roll, he rolled exactly 15, and that saved his character from dying. It took him down to like 1 hit point, so he was still conscious. He still had like all of his spells or whatever. He might have been playing a wizard or something. And he survived the fireball or whatever because of my prayer spell. And
Jeez.
Up until that point, I did not have very much clout with this party. Like, everybody was hating on my character up until this point. For 7 levels, right? Just straight up hating on me for, doing 1d4 damage around with my little warhammer and shit. And after the game was over, my friend, Justin Beals, whose character I saved during the session, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey Josh, I just want to say thanks, dude. Like, I really like my character, and I didn't want to roll a new one, and you saved my life." And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I was role playing my character, saving people's lives, like a combat medic or something. And that was the first time anyone had ever thanked me for saving their D&D character, like out of character. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought that
That's
felt
pretty
really
cool.
cool. Yeah. So that's my favorite story.
That's good. Although I still find it very strange that people are talking mess about the friggin' cleric.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was sometimes if no one was hurt, like round after round after round, I was going into melee combat with my little D4 warhammer, and I had no strength bonus. So even if I hit, I would do like 1 or 2 damage, maybe 3 or 4 if I was lucky. So
Hmm.
All right, Rook, how about you?
Hmm. So something funny or something epic? Why not? See, people have been telling stories about their successes, something that went super well for them. Let me tell you something about our legendary failures.
Nice.
Now, this one is not D&D. This is from a system called Blaze in the Dark. Essentially, we were playing nothing but scoundrels. My character is what we will call a hound. Essentially, there was like 4 people in our group, but one guy dropped out, so there's only 3 at the end. So there's me. I'm a hound, which essentially means I'm the dude with the gun and the sword. I can track people down, but I can also fight. I was basically the combat guy. We got into a fight. Everybody else hid, and I did most of the work. Shooty bang bang.
Nice.
The other guy who we'll call Mr. O is a mastermind. Essentially, he makes plots, makes plans, and one of his abilities is that he can essentially just spontaneously set up something that gives an advantage. The other character was essentially an alchemist. In fact, we were basically drug dealers. And we had a drug called Nas, or nostalgia. People took it, made them feel good, but the drug is made out of basically mushrooms and ghost bits. Towards the end of the campaign, I wasn't there, but the 2 players basically unleashed a demon, and they each got a wish from the creature. They didn't share with each other what the wish was, but that wish would end up basically turning the campaign from threat of the week to, oh my god, this is all going down right now. So, our alchemist had like a strong connection with what amounts to the local Slavic population. I call them Scavs, and they are basically rebels that hate the Empire, so to speak. Here's the thing: my character used to be, an Imperial Marine, but by that point, he was more interested in coin than loyalty, whatever that crap was. So, we're sitting there. Drug deals, basically the arms deal is going down. And on a whim, I decided to send my bat out into the air, sulky, to look around. And guess what? Bunch of blue coats, the cops essentially, were outside. The deal got scuttled, and we ran. We ran like motherfuckers. the player characters separated, and I met with our mastermind and our hive while the alchemist went off to her mother's house. And that's what I basically found out. It was a setup. Now, the mastermind cut with me a deal. He basically wanted to stop our alchemist, basically turn her in, get the cops off our backs, and as a bonus, we make a shit ton of coin along the way. So, what do you think my guy did?
What?
Hells yeah, I went along with it.
Huh.
So then we all meet in the middle of So I'll meet like in the middle of what amounted to a rally for the quote unquote immortal emperor. It was like a constant race on the clock as we were trying to track down our alchemist, while our alchemist tried to set herself up to basically put a bullet in the emperor.
Nice.
Now, see, Blades in the Dark, you roll d6s essentially. And if you roll 5s or 6s, you succeed. So if you roll 4, 5, or 6, you succeed. 1, 2, or 3, you fail. So here's the thing. Initially, we just kept blowing it. We could not find this alchemist. Then our luck turned around immediately. We kept getting crit after crit after crit. And that little scene ended with me grabbing the alchemist's hand in the middle of the crowd. Then the real fun began. The alchemist, as part of her deal with the demon, got essentially a gun that was so powerful it could insta-kill characters.
Jeez.
And here I am in melee, grappling this character with, the demon gun. So,
fucking, what's that movie, where they're, it's all about the tetragrammaton and the, oh god, what was that movie? They're like having a fist fight with pistols in their hands. They're trying to shoot each other, but they just like block the shot. And
The Matrix?
It's similar to the Matrix.
Equilibrium?
Equilibrium, yeah. It's like
Gun
an
kata?
yeah, gun kata. Yeah. Gun kata. That's funny. And they still pull the trigger anyways, even though it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this. Because again, this was actual planned, organized PvP, so I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this was fun."
That's cool though.
Now, Sarah decided to take out the Immortal Emperor. She turned the demon gun on me and just put a bullet right in my chest.
Oh my god. How much did it actually do damage, or was it just like insta kill?
Well, it turns out its effect was that it dealt a level 4 harm. Essentially, that means you die.
Oh.
But my character, I took tough as nails,
Yeah.
which basically means that I could resist the harm.
On a die roll?
I mean, I just do it. The die rolls determine how much stress I take when I do it. Stress is kind of like your energy bar, essentially.
Yeah.
You get too much stress, you trauma out, you're useless for the rest of the mission,
Wow.
and you'll have mental problems, essentially.
For the rest of the character's life?
Pretty much.
Jeez.
I know, it's a rough system.
Yeah.
So I just took the bullet to the chest, and I survived. But I traumatized out at the end. So what do you think happened next?
You went like catatonic and someone killed you anyways?
I was on the ground, she ignored. I thought she was just gonna, finish me off, like, bam.
Huh.
Nope. Last bullet, shot the Emperor right in the face, and he dropped.
Wow.
We failed.
Nice.
That's cool.
I mean, it turned out pretty well for the characters in the end, though. Because while my character, Salty, effectively lost, like, 20 years of his life because his hair turned from, like, a black to a salt and pepper grayish thing.
Yeah.
but he did survive a demon bullet. Turns out the immortal emperor was immortal as they found him again next week. His soul was in another body.
Oh
So
god,
that was kind of pointless.
derp. Did you get experience for it or anything like that? Was it a...
The campaign ended there, but my character got basically what amounted to a level 4 lifestyle lift. Essentially, at that point, that means my character is friggin' rich.
Oh.
As the campaign ended with my character and the mastermind just having shit tons of money. Just shit tons of money.
Huh.
Partying in the governor's palace. But in the end, the important thing is that we failed our goal. We did not save the emperor.
Right. Was that one of those systems where there really is no experience point progression? It's just all about money?
Well, there's like experience point progression, but experience points is kind of weird. So you don't gain levels like that.
You
Your
just
skills
increase your
just
skills?
get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Sounds like Cyberpunk.
Essentially, yeah, like how it works in Blades in the Dark is that every time you make a desperate roll, you get to take experience points whether you pass or fail. Now,
Right.
desperate rolls means if you pass, you're still going to get consequences, and nasty ones at that. If you fail a desperate roll, ooh, you don't want to fail a desperate roll. We also train that stuff, but by the time we got there, we were pretty much max level.
Huh.
The thing that made the story so memorable was just like a classic triple cross, followed by like the only bit of PvP I actually enjoyed.
Huh.
Because it was well planned, and the sides weren't so grossly imbalanced. Yeah, it was 2 PCs on one, but she had what
Spread it
about to
over
an
again.
anarchist army backing her up, so
Yeah.
it was even.
All right. Well, I appreciate your patience, guys. I I do have the first bit of this set up finally. I will know in the future not to open foot and insert mouth when it comes to Roll20. So we are ready to go. Basically, I've shown you the entrance. The door is there is actually no door there, even though I drew the old school symbol for a door on the map. It is just a doorway covered in animal skins. But what order are you going to enter the barrow and clear out the goblins in?
I'll go in first.
Send
Yay,
in the
Master
warrior
Dwarf!
first.
All right. Actually, it's probably easier if you just all go in, and then we'll deal with it from there. Just not too far, because there's like monsters right inside. No spoilers.
I have my sword and I have my bow. Let us slay these goblins and earn our coin.
I swear, I thought you were gonna rhyme for a second.
Yeah, I thought that was where that was going.
Oh god, no. Here's the thing, I don't like playing elves because that kind of stuff would be the thing an elf would actually do.
If there are goblins afoot, I shall slit their throats in their sleep.
I swear that sounds like you're running that through a filter.
I'm an elf. I need no filter.
Well, move your elf butt into the room, and we'll get.
Are we ready,
all right.
guys?
Oh, I think you guys have been ready. It's the GM that's been not.
It's fine, building a one-shot ain't easy.
Alright, so, oh, somebody's mad. Inside the foyer of the barrow has fallen into disrepair, helped along by the small group of goblins currently residing within it. Once clean flagstones are now dirty, with refuse and debris thrown about. Fire pits have been built next to rude camps around the periphery of the room. On the walls are faded paintings of figures, Troladarans of old in battle with various forces. To the east is a doorway with an animal skin draped across the opening. I don't have that on the map. Sorry, it's in the northeastern corner of the room you're in. None of the camps are built near this opening. The west wall is open to a reliquary alcove, and there is a locked black iron portcullis protruding from holes in the floor of the doorway to the north, blocking the way forward into the barrow. And on top of that, as the room is lit by bright firelight, you are able to see that there is a small band of goblins making camp in here, who are all looking very surprised at you just walking into their place. Roll any.
Oh no! There are goblins afoot!
Lots of goblins.
Cool! That one's eating an ear!
Hey, we're doing like standard group initiative.
We will do standard initiative, although this edition does call for group initiative. I've always hated group initiative, so.
Alright, do you want to roll high or low?
You want to roll high, actually.
Fantastic.
All right, Gargamond, I hit the initiative button, and I don't have initiatives for my goblin. Do I have to roll them for each individual?
For each individual token, yes.
You hate me.
One fast way to do it is to select a group of goblins and hold control and press the U key, and it will add them to the turn order tracker with with an initiative of 0. Okay, and then do that for all the all the groups of goblins, and then just roll a d10 for each goblin, and if you have advanced dice enabled, you can actually click and drag the dice rolls into the turn order tracker from chat into the
Interesting.
tracker. Yeah.
And just as an FYI, the system uses 6s for initiative
Oh,
instead
okay.
of D10.
Okay, then yeah, you'd want to roll d6s.
So that's weird. I can't, even though they're sharing the character sheet, I can't just make one roll of initiative for all of
No, you have to roll for each individual token if you're gonna do individual initiative like this. There might be an API that allows you to do that. Roll an individual initiative for groups of monsters, but you'd probably have to have a pro account and all that.
I may have just accidentally deleted somebody. I don't see Seth's initiative roll.
I don't think Seth rolled initiative, did he?
I did.
Oh.
I just never got put on the turn order. Also, mine should be a
Did you click on your
4.
token before you rolled initiative?
Oh, I did not.
Ah.
Yeah, you gotta do that, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's try that again.
Yep, hammer that in with Josh. Second edition, roll initiative every round.
Yeah.
Every round.
There's there's got to be a quicker way to roll initiative for groups of monsters in this. This is insane.
There's you can write a macro that is attached to every token in the game that just rolls a d6 and throws that number on the turn order tracker. but you still have to click on each individual, token, and then click the button.
So here's the thing that's gonna piss me off even more about this.
What?
Like it's so like almost functional. Like it does a great job. Let me say that it does a great job, but I can right click on the token, and there's a thing for add turn, which adds it to the turn tracker, but does not roll initiative.
Yeah, that's doing the same thing as holding the control button and pressing U. So if you select a group, it does that even faster.
Yeah, I'm working on that now. It's just like don't get me wrong. This program is very useful and fun and makes it a lot easier to do certain things.
Yeah.
But it's like they could have just had one more bit of functionality.
Yeah. Without API, everything is very bare bones. Very bare bones. And I don't know how to use the API yet. I've been a pro member since like July, and I still haven't started messing around with API.
Didn't you tell me you could like control or shift double click and it would open the character sheet for that token?
Yeah, you hold shift and then double click on the token. But of course, the token has to be attached to the character sheet. So you have to go to the drop down menu and make sure that it says represents token, goblin or whatever. Represents goblin sheet. So if you haven't done that, you're probably better off attaching one of them to the character sheet, deleting the rest, and then copying that one that is attached to the character sheet and then pasting.
Yeah, all right. I'm stopping. I'm not gonna fuck with it. I'm sorry. I've already screwed enough of this shit up.
And then doing this method, in order for it to work, you have to enable advanced. I think it's called enable advanced dice.
Oh, is that the 3D dice that roll around the screen?
No, it's it just changes the way the dice look in chat when they get rolled. And then you can literally click and drag the numbers into the turn order tracker. It's cool. So setting up initiative for multiple monsters is a little quicker that way. Nice.
How did you get a 0 initiative?
It's giving me a penalty for my dexterity, even though that's not a thing. I think it's using an advanced rule.
What was your actual roll?
My actual roll was 1.
Oh, and
What's your
minus
dex?
1 from Dex would be a 0, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
can. Yeah. Because yeah, the basic normally just does group initiative, so there is no dex modifier to initiative. But I think this is just set on advanced rules.
We're playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Beck me style.
I'm trying to remember the thing from the Dead Alewives. It's like, this is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Jim. You can't do that. Huh, you're right. There is no dex penalty to armor.
Yeah, I can just give myself a +1 bonus, and that will negate the -1 penalty it's giving me, so it'll just roll straight from now on.
Yeah, go ahead and do that on your sheet. I have already modified your initiative for as far as this is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, dex is my only bad stat.
Wow, y'all all rolled shitty, didn't you?
Yeah. I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
And what do goblins have?
I
4
rolled a
sixes.
0.
I was gonna say Seth rolled a 0.
I rolled a 4 before I had to redo it and click on my token.
Well, as far as the goblins rolling a bunch of 6s, I rolled on the table. Like I think y'all. I don't think I rolled at secret.
No, I see it.
All right, 1 second, just real quick. Let me look for this.
The goblins see us, point us at us, and say, "Get him!" And they just swarm us.
Get him!
I do have advanced dice turned on, so I don't know. I'll figure that out later. All right, so
Is it not
Yes.
clicking and dragging? Are the dice not clicking and dragging?
oh, you know what? Oh, you're right. They do. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then I drag it onto the map. That was funny. I thought you were talking about the 3D dice, like when you turn them on and they roll across the screen. I thought you were talking about I could grab those and drag them onto it. All right, so at the top of the round is a few goblins. Except that I am going to actually. All right, now this is something I don't know. Like no one's never had a chance to read this before. What? If once someone has taken their turn, like how do you move them down off the? Do you just manually drag them?
Yeah.
It should be
yeah,
like
so
a.
if
It should be
you
like a.
if you hover
button
over
that lets you move initiative.
if you hover over their line on the turn order tracker, there will be a golden square around the token that belongs to that individual initiative. That way you can tell which one of them is actually supposed to go. And then you would
Right.
move the token and do his attacks or whatever, and then you can advance the turn order tracker to the next one.
Is that what the arrow button does?
Yeah, that's what the arrow button does. It advances to the next turn on the turn order tracker.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to say that the goblins are a bit surprised because they didn't expect a band of adventurers to come barging through their animal skin draped doorway. So the player characters are all going to get one round to act first. So Eldor the Clever, please. What are you going to do?
I want to cast the sleep spell. Does anyone know the AoE for the sleep spell?
40 foot by 40 foot.
40 foot by 40 foot. Outstanding.
And friendly fire is enabled.
Okay, so I want to do, let's see, 5, 10, 15.
And these are 5 foot squares on this
20.
map, by the way.
25, 30, 35, 40 by 40. So that red square, so it would be centered right there on that intersection and expand to 40 foot by 40 foot. And then, do I roll a die? Or
no, actually, there's no die. I roll a bunch of dice because anybody caught in it has to make a saving throw versus spell.
okay.
And they are goblins, which save as a normal man because they have shitty little one-hit dice save.
All right.
Sleep's a very powerful spell, low levels.
Can be. Yeah, they've got to roll a 17 or better, though.
Oh, you're talking about the sleep spell from the basic?
Yes.
Deep, deep. You shall see.
It affects 2 to 16 hit dice on creatures in a 40-foot square. And according to this thing, your victim will roll to find the total hit dice monster's effect using 2d8. The victims get no saving throw.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just 2d8
that's right.
dice are effective.
They don't get a save.
How many
They
dice?
roll 2d8.
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 Yeah, go ahead and roll 2d8.
9.
Nice. So 9. It affects 9 hit dice worth of creatures, and goblins are 1d minus 1 hit dice.
Ooh.
So you have 4. You have 7 in there, so they are all 7 asleep.
Hey, you can move it back one space and get that one over there.
Actually, I will allow that. I will allow you to have targeted one spell or one
Yay.
square level.
Good job, by the way.
Peep a deep deep, now you shall sleep.
Nice. All right, there is definitely no way to do anything as a group on these guys. So I am going to mark these gentlemen with a little token to indicate that they are sleepies. Also, bonus XP for the incantation, but don't abuse that. That was kind of a joke, sorry. Alright, Zaya's asleep. A bunch of the goblins stare at you dumbly before falling over whatever they were doing. Leaving 3. Glorval the Handsome, you are up.
All right. Gonna move here and shout at them in Goblin, "Have at you, foul beasts!" And I'll attack the one to the north of me.
Alright, roll it.
And there. No.
No, you do not hit them. Alright. Grell the Gullible. Almost called you Grull. Grell the Gullible.
Yes, I am Grell. I will. There is no flanking and back me, is there?
There's no flanking bonus, no.
Nah, pity. Alright. I'll step inside, save my one spell, and try to stab a little goblin.
Do it.
AC 6 for 4 damage.
You
enough?
hit. You hit and you slayed. They are dead.
Ew, now there's goblin on my sword. Looks like blood.
Good job.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Alright, top of the new round. Technically, I think we're supposed to re-roll. I guess we could. Now that I know how to do it, it shouldn't take too long. And there's actually only 2 guys that are going to roll on my side, so roll.
Yes.
Whoever rolled before I just cleared the list, that was Eldor. I'll add you. Actually, roll again, and I'll add your original one in there, unless you roll a 6.
Flippity flive, I rolled a 5.
Yeah, it's not dragging in there for me. I'll just manually populate it. I'll figure that out. That is the least annoying things that have gone that have not worked for me tonight.
Yeah, it's the actual 9 dice roll that drags. Yeah,
Oh,
it's the one with
okay.
the little
All right.
nuclear symbol thing.
Gotcha. All right. All right then. Goblin is up. Goblin is going to attack Glorval. And he does not hit in any way whatsoever. They are armed, by the way, with clubs. They also have slings, but anybody that would be ranged to you all right now is sleepy, so they ain't gonna be. All right, so he swung and missed. Eldor the Clever is up.
So,
Eldor the Clever shall advance upon this goblin which flanketh his friend Glorval, and draw his long sword and cutteth him in half.
Nice.
Yeah, they call longswords normal swords in Beckman for some reason. It's weird.
AC 11 is a miss, I'm sure of it.
Yes, that is. All right, so you swing and miss. And now the other goblin is up, and he will also attack Glorval.
Just don't hit me in the face. That's the moneymaker.
Not in the face, not in the face! 1 second, sorry.
That'd have to be a hell of a goblin.
Yeah, no, that didn't hit either, so you're good to go there. Wait, what is your AC?
3.
Oh, yeah, that definitely did not hit you. Okay.
Yeah, I've plate mail and a shield. Just no helm. People need to see how beautiful I am.
Alright, Glorval the Handsome is up.
Alright, I will swing on the one to the left of me. Let's see if we can do better this time. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, my token is selected.
That one, right?
No!
Nope, you do not hit.
Well, that was a higher roll, but only by 1.
It was a good try.
You skipped my turn.
Okay, so I have this mouse that the button is just going wonky on. I don't know why. Go ahead and roll your turn. It's fine, because we're going to roll initiative here in a second.
Alright, I'm gonna kick the goblin corpse out the way. Move over here.
Nice.
And try to stab the goblin. With my normal sword. That'll miss.
You do miss, unfortunately.
20 Thaco, what can I say?
Alright, please roll initiative.
oh,
We actually have a 19 Thaco, because Beckney is weird that way.
oh, we have a 19th echo.
Yes, we have a 19 Thaco, but
Okay.
AC also starts at 9 instead of 10, so...
Oh,
Oh.
we have a Thaco of 19. Okay.
Yep. A normal human would have a Thaco of 20.
Oh,
Level 1 character. So, yeah, we're 5% more accurate.
Every
don't-
bit counts.
I don't remember where the. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see. All right. Bam!
Yeah, where's
19.
Thaco?
+1 to hit.
Hey, that makes all the difference sometimes.
Yeah, we're actually stronger than 2nd edition first level characters because of that.
Yep, and you get bonuses to hit and damage at 13 strength, so...
Yeah.
Alrighty, looks like Glorval the Handsome is up.
Alright, I will swing again at the goblin to my left. Third time lucky. Well,
Not quite.
it's still much more respectable.
Oh yes, you were closer.
I'm dialing it in.
You nicked one of the pieces off of his helmet.
Oh,
And Goblin is up. Which Goblin is that? That is the one in the south. He is going to stop punking on Keely and attack Eldor. What is your AC? Probably doesn't matter because I don't think he hit.
It is 5.
Yeah, he didn't hit. Okay. Moving right along,
Ha,
Grell the
stupid
Gullible.
goblin! You can't kill me!
That is never gonna get old.
AC
Oh.
-1.
You definitely hit. Which one were you? Never mind.
There's only one I could hit.
Yes, that.
I stab it in the brain. This is gonna take a while to clean up. It
Oh,
flicks
what?
the blood on the ground.
Oh, I thought that was a comment about all the goblins. Alrighty then, that was Grell. Dead Goblin is up. It doesn't remove the dead goblins from the.
No. The only way for you to remove it from the turn order tracker is to delete the token, which...
Oh, I can just delete it from the.
Yeah, like for a dead goblin, just put red X's on them.
Yeah,
For now.
or you could also put them onto the GM layer, and that makes them invisible on the turn order tracker to us, and it also grays them out for you. And we can't see their tokens anymore, which could be beneficial or not, depending on what you're trying to do.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Like if I were way better at this, I would probably like have a dead goblin token that I could drag over and replace it with, but I'm not gonna do that right now.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that would literally be too much work.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a pain in the butt enough to find living tokens for creatures. Having to find dead goblins would just be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Eldor the Clever is up.
Haha, goblin! Wait, my voice changer's not on.
Haha, goblin! Off with his head!
After this game, I want you to tell me how you do that.
Okay, I'll give you a link to the website. So I hit AC2
Sweet.
for 8 damage.
You
I
hit
rolled
and kill.
15.
And Glorval the Handsome didn't have to dirty his armor with goblin blood.
You hit and like way overkill. Yeah, he only had 4 hit.
Haha, stupid goblin! I'm invincible! Eldor the Clever is invincible!
As you are all yelling, and there was sounds of combat going on, you hear a screechy goblin voice from the far corner of the room. Does anybody speak goblin? I think somebody.
I do. Dwarves.
Yeah,
come
dwarves
with
speak a crap ton of languages.
Yep.
All right,
And I'm super intelligent, so I speak even more.
nice. Oh yeah, and don't forget, this is the edition that gave you the strange, mysterious alignment language. That was, if you were lawful, you had the lawful alignment language, so lawful characters could talk to each other in secret. Only if something happened and changed your alignment, you suddenly magically forgot that language and learned the new one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Alignment language was interesting, but ultimately stupid idea.
It got
I
even
agree.
dumber in first edition since they had 9 alignment languages.
It didn't make it to first edition. At least I don't remember it being in first
Oh,
edition.
it was. I don't think it was a core rule, but it was in there because it made it to when there were 9 alignments.
Good night. I would not want to be able to only speak chaotic neutral. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so a screechy goblin voice says, "Oi, what's that? What's all that noise?" And another character joins the room.
Ooh. Oh.
And she looks like this.
Cool! It's a goblin, only with tits!
Nice. All right. New turn, new initiative.
Oy vey.
Yeah, 5 again. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. If you keep y'all on the turn order chart, it just automatically updates you. That's
Yeah.
nice. All right, I've got something broken with my character sheet or something because it actually every time I try to actually roll the macro for initiative, it spits out a bunch of syntax errors in the chat. Joy.
Can I... Is charging a thing in Beckme?
Don't remember that it is.
Okay.
One sec.
There's
Let me see.
no attack roll modifier for it,
Oh.
but
I just happen to have the rules encyclopedia right here. I'll see what it said. I know that in like the companion rules and stuff, if you had a lance, you could charge on a horse, but I don't think there was any charging rules for hand to hand.
Oh, okay.
yeah, you just get 40 feet of movement in a round.
Oh. Oh, an extra 40 feet?
Well, just 40. You can move 40 feet and take an action.
Well, okay, there's got to have been. Yes, there is. Well, is there? Okay, hang on. There's got to be a charge in this because the fighters and fighter type characters like dwarves and shit get a maneuver in combat to set spear versus charge. If you're armed with a spear, you can set the spear and you get a special thing for fighting against charging creatures. But I'm not seeing it. I don't know what that is, so I'll have to look at that later. So, what would you like to do? And I'll see if I can cook up a bonus for you.
So with 60 feet of movement, I don't have enough movement to close with the female goblin. That would put me right about here. So
That's 30 feet.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could charge and get extra movement somehow from charging.
Well, you can do the 40 feet as a basic move, so you can get right next to her.
Well, that's the thing. 40 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
gotcha.
your movement rate, the rate that they list for movement is always going to be like goblins is 90 foot, and then in parentheses it says 30 foot, and that's like outdoors versus encounter speed, like when you're in combat. And I think player characters are modified similarly.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that polyline. That was cool.
Haha, goblin wench. Off with her head. Oh.
She sneers at you. Do you speak Goblin, or was it that was somebody else's?
I was speaking in common. And
It's the dwarf it's Seth that speaks Goblin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. Ooh. Alright, well I'm not gonna do anything horrible like make you drop your sword or anything. That was all fan rules anyway. There's actually never been in any version of D&D official rules for critical fumbles yet. How many of us have played at tables where they
Yeah.
Josh.
Hey, I don't do critical fumbles either. I do off balance where you lose all the rest of your attacks for the entire round and all your movement. And you are literally fighting to keep to stay standing, and because you're off balance, and you lose your dex bonus to AC, and you actually have +2 to hit you. Like your regular AC drops by 2, or anyone who attacks you gets a +2 to hit you.
Sounds like a fumble to me.
Yeah, like you don't go prone or anything like that. It's just, you take a knee or whatever, like you fall to your knees, almost.
One sec. I have to figure out how to draw this and make it look right.
Because I've played a fighter before, in a campaign where if you roll a 1, you just fall flat on your face, and you go prone. And
Nice.
that was not fun, and a lot of the times it doesn't make very much sense. Like, say
You're a trained warrior who falls over his face
right,
1 in every 20 swings.
or if you're playing a warrior that's an archer, like a grandmaster longbowman or whatever, and you have like 6 shots per round, that's a lot of chances to roll a crit fumble. And usually characters like that don't even move. They just stand there and shoot. So falling on your face doesn't make any damn sense.
Oh, at least you're doing better than Bragi's rule for crit fails on archers. My bow snapped.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
And that bow's like, a composite bow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because eventually you need it to made specifically to your strength. So getting another one's going to be a pain in the ass.
See, that's I kind of like the. I play Shadowrun a lot, and I like the way that Shadowrun does that because they've got a they've got a glitch, which is like you either succeed or fail still based on the roll that you did, but the glitch means that something kind of annoying happened, like you dropped your tools, it took a little longer than normal, you spilled your big shake all over you or something. And then you have the critical glitch, and the critical glitch is like you might be being picked up by your teammates and taken elsewhere, like to the hospital.
Yeah.
Depending on what you were doing. Okay, so the goblin creature starts chanting in a screechy, horrible sing-song language that almost sounds like magic, and a shimmering field appears all around her body briefly, and she stares at you defiantly and draws her deck. That means that it is now Glorval's turn.
Okay.
Shimmering, field?
It's basically she cast a spell, and it's like a shield of some kind.
Alright.
Foul enchantress, taste steel.
Says the only person in the room alive that can't cast spell.
I cast sword. Yes, it
Nice.
worked.
Yeah.
Glorval used sword. It was very effective. Okay, this says hits AC 16. That's not... Okay, because you rolled terribly. That's why. Oh, no. I was looking at Eldor's. I apologize.
Yeah, he rolled an 18 and his stat goes 19. And he gets a +1
You
to
are
hit
correct.
from strength.
Yes, so you hit, and you caused 4 damage to her. Ouch. She is looking a bit worse for wear. You can't see her bars, can you?
No.
No.
Okay, cool. I didn't know for sure. Alright, Grell, you're up.
I did not entirely finish this spell, but whatever. Grail points his fingers forward, mutters the words, "Lava beyond sea," and casts Magic Missile.
Nice, incantation. Very cool. 1 second, because there is a caveat to this. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. All right. So, and Magic Missile in Basic, as anybody may or may not know, is an auto hit.
Yeah.
So, I expected her to live longer, but that's okay. She falls to the ground, quite dead. Big scorch marks from the missiles.
Ha ha!
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ha ha, foul wench! Even though I failed, my friends succeeded for me. Ha!
I assume you're going to spend a few moments running around coup de grace all of the
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I start.
the system book actually says to make you roll, but I always hated that. Like, they're asleep, they can't defend themselves. Stab away. They're all dead.
Stabby, 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 stab.
Stabby McStabface.
And
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stab.
I'm assuming now that you are going to be searching the room.
Indeed.
Starting with the green wench in the corner. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so while searching around, I'll make a hidden doors check.
Starting with the green wench in the corner.
Yep, I'll make
Nice.
Sure, mind if I make a hidden doors check?
Go for it.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
It whispered.
Yeah, Whisper did not do what I expected to. And now I'll just roll a straight d6. Got a 2.
All right. I don't actually have the room drawn. I think maybe you can see that I have this red box on there. It was supposed to be black, and I forgot to change the color. But that is like a side room that appears to have been at one point the guard room for the guards that were stationed here. I actually do have a little bit of description written out. This room housed the guards which stood vigil here, and the ruins of 2 sets of stacked beds lay broken in opposite corners among pieces of other broken furniture. Strung together in the far corner is a rough teepee of cured hides next to a fire pit with bits of animal bone mixed into the ashes. Inside the teepee are several fetishes and talismans which appear to be of personal possessions. And because of your secret doors roll, you happen to find out that while it is not a door specifically, like a big door you could go through, there is a secret door on the wall here. And it opens a little alcove, and inside you see a metal lever sticking through the stone.
Yeah, Girl Gullible will make a wisdom check.
Fetishes, eh? I've got a fetish.
Nice.
Yeah, Girl Gullible will make a wisdom check.
But
So
will he?
wisdom check button, so...
Yeah, they don't make a check button for those.
Oh, he's pulling the lever!
Okay. If anybody is outside of said small room when he pulls the lever, you will notice that the portcullis that I didn't draw on the map. Man, I am a great DM tonight, guys. I am really sorry.
Is the portcullis just separating the room we're in from that big circle at the top?
Yes,
Okay.
I sort of ham-handedly drew it onto the map there. The portcullis, when he pulls the lever, snaps down into the floor. You can see where it was sticking up through holes in the wall in the floor, and the room beyond is now open.
Aha.
It is not, however, lit.
Thankfully, we
We have
all have
infravision.
infravision.
All right.
We don't care about light.
I'm kind of glad I didn't finish making the actual maps and go to take the time to set up all the dynamic lighting and shit just for you to defeat it with your.
Although I think in this dungeon, when we were all the way on the southern wall, it would have mattered because we wouldn't be able to see into the next room.
Our vision's like only 60 feet out for us.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I really love their dynamic lighting thing, and I did actually look up how to do it correct for infravision because it came up in my other basic game that I play in, and we were like, I don't know how to do this. We'll just give you a light source and you know, everybody pretend you can't see through his stuff or whatever. But I looked it up and I know how to do it now. So if that comes up again, and I will actually have an actual like decent map for this at one of these days. Not that it matters because y'all will be done with it. In the room, let me not type over or mess up all of my previous writings here. In the room, carried amongst the goblins, you are able to gather 86 electrum pieces.
Ooh.
Determine how you're splitting that up, and then make sure to note it on your sheets.
Electrum. The alloy of gold and silver. Not as valuable as gold, but almost as good.
You know, I don't think a lot of people actually know that it's an alloy of gold and silver.
I don't know. Josh likes Electrum. He knows. This would be 20 Electrum, 6 silver, 6 copper.
All right, note that on your sheets. And kudos to y'all for dividing it evenly and nobody going, I'm taking a big share of it because I'm a bastard. Sorry, Grell, I moved you so that I could get to the goblins and mark them out without having to.
It's cool. I'm probably up there in that room anyway. Because, you know, I pulled the lever without thinking about it.
No, that was cool.
Yeah. Gotta play a character, man. Wisdom check. Failed.
Okay, so go ahead and place yourselves where you would be as you are approaching the next room. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. Silly me. In the in the guard room, whoever, I'm assuming Grell, since he was in there, but anybody could have found this. There was a strong box kept amongst the goblin like leaders' equipment and such. And it is locked, and I notice a distinct lack of thief in the party. But you do find that dangling betwixt her breasts is a key that looks about the right size.
Sure, who's
Speaking
gonna
of
go
fetishes,
Here's a question. Who's gonna reach the goblin cleaver to get the key?
Glorval the Handsome, heir to the Obsidian Chalice, does not touch goblin bosom.
yeah, this'll be my pleasure.
I'm not sure you could have said that more creepy.
And I reach in between her breasts and pull the key out.
Alrighty.
Instead of, going after the rope around her neck that's holding up the key. Sure, buddy.
They were all sweaty guys.
Oh, my.
Your character is just the biggest creep right now.
All right. Having retrieved the strongbox key, the strongbox is openable, and assuming that you do so, in it you find the treasure of what appears to be the coster company that employed the trader, or maybe it's his. I don't know. And that treasure consists of 1,618 silver. Which I'll just copy this into chat so that you can see it easier. $1,618 silver, because if you take the time to count it, 1,607 or let me do that again. 1,067 electrum.
Whoa, that's a lot of weight, guys.
Well, with all this money, we can pay a woman to be with you so that you don't have to touch sweaty goblin breasts.
Nice.
Perhaps we should, hide the guard room and leave this here until we come back to leave. Shall we?
I mean, it is in a locked box, so you could hide it pretty easily.
Relock it.
It also contained a single white opal. However, it bears a crack down the center of it, and so it is worth half of its value. The value that I have listed is the actual value. It's worth. So it's worth 500 gold pieces when you sell it.
Still more money than any of us ever seen in our lives.
Considering you've only been alive for like a couple hours, sure. All right, and while you are deciding what to do with the treasure, and apparently, taking time to count 2,000 coins worth of gold or treasure, just as you're getting ready to move on or whatever, a little bit more expository. The light in the room seems to get dimmer, and sounds seem muffled. Just as realization of this dawns on the party, and wow, okay, somebody didn't edit this sheet. I'm gonna have to fire my editor. Just as realization of this dawns on the party, a voice cuts through the scene, echoing as though from a long hallway. "Help us! You must help!" And an apparition appears before the party of a strong Trolladaran man wearing plate armor. He holds his arms out in a pleading manner, and his face is anguished. "Your spirits quicken me. If you truly mean to do good in this world, I implore you, seek out our mausoleum below. Our bodies were laid here to rest, but we cannot. We endure because of him." At this, his figure lurches backwards, his back bent as though in pain. A red mist, seemingly from nowhere, begins to swirl and coalesce around him. He opens his mouth to speak again, but makes no sound. Then a different voice, sinuous and low, seemingly from all directions at once, says, "Mine, forever." And then the room goes cold, and the shade of the man shrinks rapidly as though being pulled backwards through space. As the shade disappears, warmth returns to the room, the light seems brighter, and sounds return to normal. You are left with an unsettled feeling.
Maybe we should take the money and run?
The man does bear similar, does bear appearance. What the hell am I trying to say? The man seems very much like the description you have heard of one of the heroes that was buried in the.
Are not clerics more suited to fighting the undead than us? Perhaps we should hire one in town and bring one back with us. Is that not a clever idea?
That sounds like a good idea.
Well, if you do want to head back to town, this probably would be a decent stopping point, although I really planned this to be more than a one-room dungeon, but Yeah, I failed my logistics role for this game. I really do apologize to you.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, as we're playing the character, I enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm. And
I
we had a
mean,
We
good,
got the money.
yeah, we had a good encounter too.
I'm glad you thought so. Let's see. This was supposed to be a one-off, so I will probably. I don't know if I'll save the rest of it for if we need a a one-off again, or if we want to try and meet on a different night to do this sort of thing. But don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, let me know what y'all want to do. Doesn't have to be right this second. I assume then, from the sounds of it, sounds like y'all are like this is a good stopping point. We're done for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a successful run.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're
I
gonna
kind of
take
like
the
the
money,
idea of
run,
having a...
come back with a cleric, and maybe deal with this problem.
Yeah.
Or we're going, or maybe, just maybe, Grull will succeed one of his wisdom checks. Realize, why don't we just stay away and let someone else handle this? But honestly, his wisdom checks have not been working out for him so far.
Well, you do have a 6 wisdom, so.
I know he's not stupid. He's just he just makes bad decisions.
I've kind of always liked the idea of, in a long-running campaign, that if there's going to be off nights where the main thing's not running, there are just regular characters that have little episodic adventures that, it's not a campaign, it's just, these little fun guys we go and do an adventure with real quick or something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm totally down with that. As far as XP goes, because that matters to adventurers returning to town from their adventure, you get 5 XP per normal goblin. So that would be, there were 11 of them, so that's 55 XP. You also get 50 XP for the goblin caster, whom I named and then realized I didn't have anybody actually say the name. So her name was Wazia, in case anybody cares, and Wazia of the Sweaty Tits was worth 50 XP because she was actually a level 3 caster.
Ooh.
Not that you gave her enough time to experience that. And then for the treasure, because see, here's the great thing. Monster kills were not the main source of XP in basic. Treasure is. You get 1 XP per GP value that your individual character.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
figure out how you split up the treasure and convert it to gold piece value, and that's your XP. It is also assumed that in the town you were able to sell the cracked opal.
Okay, 166.
We're selling crack in town.
I just have to say, I always found it interesting that they talk about adventurers carrying gems around in lieu of large sums of money.
Yeah.
And because that's completely foreign to the society that Americans have grown up with forever. But then I'm a big fan of 80s action and adventure movies. One of the best ones ever was Conan the Barbarian.
Oh yeah.
And there's a scene where the king pays the adventurers to go
rubies.
rescue his daughter,
Yeah.
and he just pours a big thing of rubies out and says, "Here, take some money." It's like, that's pretty badass.
Yep.
Yep. Let's see if I do my math right. We earned 319 gold pieces.
Hmm.
So what does that bring your XP total up to?
Yeah, it's just it's a straight amount, right? 319 XP.
Yeah, it's 1 XP per gold piece value. So however much treasure you got, turn that into gold piece value, and then that's how much XP.
now the monster XP in basic, is that split or is that...
Yes, it is split, and there is actually more XP stuff that I gotta go through real quick too.
Alright, so everybody gets, I guess, round up or round down.
Round down, round fractions.
Alright, 60 XP for the level 3 caster, and there were the goblins with 5 XP each, and there were what, 9 of them?
11 of them.
There were 11 of them for 55 XP total, and then 50 XP for the goblin.
And 18. So 18 plus 16. Alright. Oh, Josh has it. Or not.
No, that was
Wait,
the
what's
goblin
the
XP.
what's the 16 from? I'm confused.
Wuxia.
No, okay, all right, I got you. Carry on.
So 34 XP for monster kills total. But you talented mofo's going a little faster than I am.
All right. Did anybody save one of their allies from any particular?
Not really. In fact, I don't think anyone got hit. Which freaking means we succeeded in an adventure.
I did.
Yes, we were far too
what's that?
mighty for those goblins.
I did put most of them asleep. Right in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'd say if there was a save the party XP, Josh deserves it. Because that was a good idea.
Alrighty.
Volume of fire alone could have done something there.
1 second here.
And here's the thing with little weenie monsters. Getting them together, one of them's going to roll in that 20. And we're level 1.
Yeah.
All it takes is one good crit to kill us off. Because you get no negative 10 stuff here.
Yeah.
I get 6 hit points, those are gone, I'm dead.
Yeah. 0 HP.
Suck
gone.
it up, roll a new one.
Indeed.
Oh, this is funny. The experience section talks about saving allies from harm as a thing that should garner extra XP, but then gives not even a token sentence as to how much XP that should.
Oh. Are there any other bonuses that they give an amount for?
I'm so used to playing second ed because of because of our Planescape game that I was looking for the big list like per class, and there just isn't one. So I apologize.
Huh.
However, I would definitely have to say that everybody take I mean, these are one-off characters anyway. Take a good let's say 5% of the total XP needed to make your next level for excellent role-playing bonus, because you all did a great job.
That's 200. Nice. Well, for me, it's 200. I also need a lot of XP to level up.
Try being a wizard sometime.
I was a wizard for months. I know the pain. And I kept getting 1s and 2s on my hit dice rolls.
James, what do we get from money?
539 silver pieces, 255 EP, 166 GP. Or, if we're assuming we split it evenly, 319 gold earned.
And yeah, I don't mind if you just write the gold instead of the other weird coin, in case anybody asks.
Yep, because EP always was an awkward type of coin. Everyone else does its some measurements in types of 100. EP is like, oh yeah, we'll do it by 5s, just to screw up the whole thing.
I'm trying to remember what it was. If I remember correctly, I think it was one of the various hops between editions, but I think it was silver pieces. They actually changed value, like how much silver pieces equal to gold pieces.
Yeah.
I think platinum has changed between editions at least once too.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
5th edition it's 10, and 2nd edition it's like, what, 5, Josh?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 5.
Why can't they just do it all in multiples of 10? It's
Yeah.
easy.
Well, see, and then if you were playing Dragonlance, you'd also have the steel piece and the tin piece. And I remember the tin piece was worth half a copper. I can't remember how much the steel piece.
What the heck could you buy with a tin piece?
Oh no, I don't. I would be more interested to know who took good steel